In this video I will show you my workflow to create the kiss scene between Lady Margot and Feyd Rautha. Some parts of the workflow are not final. I am not satisfied with the hair creation and animation. Same goes for the clothing. Some problems occur using the Blender add-on Rigify. The first improvement to the last character creation is that the characters have full bodies. I created the bodies from the human base meshes. You can download the base meshes from blender.org. Go to Downloads, Demo Files, and under Asset Bundles, download the human base meshes version 1.1. When you open the blend file, it should look like this. You see all the assets in the asset browser in the lower window. The info text gives hints for usage, and in the upper left you see all assets in the viewport. Let's bring the viewport to full screen so we can see what we've got. In the center we have the stylized human meshes. At the left we have the realistic versions. I use these for my project. The base meshes don't have a denture. If you animate a character and you would see the teeth, you need to add the jaw. I think there is a tongue included. Of course, we don't work on the reference file. We start a new Blender project and append the collection Realistic Female Base Mesh into our new project. First we bring the base mesh to center with Alt-G. When we expand the collection in the outliner, we see it includes the base mesh and both eyes. In the Modifiers tab, we see a multi-resolution modifier with 3 subdivisions. The male version had 1 subdivision. The number of subdivisions was sufficient for my sculpting. For the project, I only sculpted the head and left the rest of the body untouched. This means I had to do the sculpting for the Dune heads from the last project again. When we switch to the sculpting tab, we see the colors of the face sets. I haven't worked with face sets so far. You can focus on one part of a model by hiding all the other parts. I move the mouse cursor over the jaw and press H. Everything else is included. When you press H again, you can bring back the rest of the model. I feel quite distracted by the face sets, so I go to Overlays and deactivate the checkbox Face Sets. The reference mesh has even more advantages. I use the skin shader for the entire body, but since there is a clean geometry and already a UV unwrapping, you can go for texture painting very easy. Also the stretching of the UVs are minimal. Next I will show you how I made the clothes. The gloves are very easy. I selected all faces from the hand to the upper arm and press Alt-E and extrude faces along normals just as far as the thickness of the cloth. All you need to do now is to assign a cloth material to these faces. The dress was easy as well with a manual retopology workflow. I used the snap tool to stick faces to the body and extrude them to the shape of the dress. This works until you reach the hips. Below the hips, I deactivated the snap tool and extrude the faces down the Z-axis. I will show you how to create the cut. I extrude the face and select the adjacent vertices and press F to create a face. After finished modeling, I added a subdivision surface modifier and a solidify modifier for the thickness. The data transfer and armature modifier are for animation. I wanted the clothes following the animation of the body. It works for the parts sticking to the body, but not for the loose parts. Next I show you the hood. The hood was created out of a quarter of a UV sphere. I deleted the 2 pole vertices and extrude the faces downwards and around the chin. On top, I added a multi-resolution modifier and sculpted the folds. A solidify modifier provides the thickness of the cloth. I used the Blender internal add-on Rigify for posing. Activate the add-on in the settings and add a human meta rig from the armature menu. Scale down the armature in object mode so it fits the model. In the data menu, in the viewport display, activate in front. Before we continue, we must apply the scale. Shift A and apply the scale. Switch to edit mode and align the bones to the parts of the body. Activate symmetrize so you have to edit only one side. For this tutorial, I'll stop here and proceed with the next step. Click on Generate Rig. After a few seconds, you should see this rig. Now we can hide the meta rig in the outliner. Select your base mesh and shift select your rig, and with Ctrl P choose Armature Deform with automatic weights. Select the rig and switch to pose mode. Now we can test our rig. It looks good. Rigify didn't work so smooth in my project. The button Update Face Rig led to an error message or a Blender crash. Sometimes Generates Rig only generates the rig on one side. On another day, the rig didn't animate my base mesh. I solved this problem by opening a new Blender project and appended all assets into the new project. In some mysterious way, it worked after this little trick. For convenience, I parent the eyes to the rig for testing. Select the left eye in the outliner and shift-click the eye controller. Ctrl P and parent to bone. Repeat this for the other eye. I show you the basic functions of the rig. The whole rig is equipped with inverse kinematics for the limbs. When we move the hip controller, feet and hands stay in position while legs and arms are compensating. The hand controller affects the entire arm. The arrow controls the rotation of the shoulder. You can also rotate the hand with the hand controller. This element controls the finger. By scaling the element, the finger closes. In case your fingers move to the side when closing, the hand bones are not aligned properly. We also have a controller for the foot, and the arrows control the rotation of the leg. The eye controller can control where your eyes are looking at. With the boxes, you can open the mouth, move the nose, wiggle your ears, or open and close the eyes. That's all for my workflow for character design and posing. I see you in the next video.